Now, around this time of year, animal shelters in the city are starting to see overcrowding.
Yeah, it's been happening all year. It's truly heartbreaking. But to help these animals find a family in time for the holidays, the City of Houston's animal shelter, BARC, is doing all that it can to help them find a loving home. And joining us right now is Deputy Shelter Director and our friend of BARC, Corey Stottlemyre. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much, as always, for coming on and chatting with us about this. I know, we were talking to Special Pals last hour during our 8 o'clock hour, and this is a crisis we've been seeing all across the country, especially bad, though, here in Houston.
Oh yeah, normally this time of year, our enforcement kind of slows down a little bit. We don't expect to reach our capacity, especially as we have campaigns like the Empty the Shelters campaign that just ended Sunday, where we were completely waiving adoption fees. And we did pretty well, but intake has been steady. I mean, one day alone last week, we had 99 animals come in one day. And that's part of just a continued trend of increasing intake from our enforcement team. And, people are still bringing in sick or injured animals. We still have our scheduled intake appointments throughout the day as well. So day to day, we're just seeing a large amount of animals coming into the shelter. Our rescue partners are telling us they're struggling to find fosters right now. So like you mentioned, Zach, we're trying to do everything we can. We're spreading the word, letting them know, hey, we had to put up pop-up kennels. It was so extreme. This past weekend, we were wondering yesterday if we were going to have to do it again. Thankfully, we've had a steady amount of adopters coming through this week.
Goodness.
Even with the animals coming in, we've been able to kind of, prevent us from putting pop-up kennels again. But we're still worried with, closures around the holidays. People are out of town. People are busy. They're unable to bring in a foster animal like they normally would other times of years. So what we're promoting as well is short-term fostering, which is not something we normally do here at BARC. Most of the time our fosters, when they take a foster out, they're expected to keep them until they can find an adopter. They network with us to promote them. But right now we're telling the public, hey, if you can foster even short-term just through the weekend, just through the holiday, that's great. We need every kennel space we can get right now.
Yeah.
So even if it's just for a short amount of time to find some reprieve, to prevent us from popping up these emergency pop-up kennels, that's what we're trying to achieve right
Corey,
now.
I know that sometimes when you guys get into these desperate situations, you also will extend your hours or waive adoption fees. Are you guys planning to do anything like that right now?
Yeah, we're continuing our extended adoption hours on Wednesday. So today we'll be open till 7, and tomorrow we'll be open to 7 as well. That's been great, not just for adopters being able to have extra time to come into the shelter, but our foster and rescue offices are open then as well. So anybody who might not be able to come and tag an animal and pick it up throughout the day, they're at work or they have other commitments. Now, since our office has been extended, our rescue partners have really taken advantage of that opportunity. And this weekend, thanks to a sponsorship from the Proler family, we're going to be waiving adoption fees for all animals. That's puppies, cats, kittens. All animals here at the shelter will have their adoption fees waived on Saturday. So we'll be open to noon to 5 p.m. It's 3300 Carr Street is our location. Go to HoustonBark.com. If you're not able to come in today, you can look online and see what animals are available. And that includes animals in foster care as well. We don't discourage you. Yes, we need help at the shelter, but when you take an animal out of foster care, that frees that foster up to take in another animal from the shelter as well.
And that's always a great test to see if you're ready to open your home to another pet. Corey, I do have a question for you. You talked about the puppies and the kittens and the cats and the dogs that are up for adoption.
Yes.
One, how many animals do you have? And two, elaborate a little bit more on this short-term fostering program. I'm so glad to hear that BARC has jumped on this. More and more shelters are doing this, and I really do think that this is a really wonderful opportunity, especially during the holidays, for people to give that test to see if they're ready. They're home for the holiday. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, earlier this week, when we went into the weekend and coming into Monday, when we had to put those pop-up kennels, we had more than 400 animals on property, but the biggest part of that was dogs. We had more than 360 dogs on property at some point, and there's no space for those large dogs here. We have all our dividers down in our South Adoption building. Every kennel space is being used right now. even some wards that are earmarked for, quarantine, sick wards, they're getting filled with other dogs because there's no place to put them. That's when we have to resort to pop-up kennels, which is not great for the animals. It's more stressful. It, poses a threat for infectious disease spread, and it causes them to be more susceptible to disease when they're stressed as well. Short-term fostering, we kind of had an idea going into the holidays that we wanted to try to roll that out. We have a full-time foster coordinator in office. That's been a position we've been trying to fill this year. So we thought it'd be a great opportunity with the holidays. When the Christmas holiday is falling, it means city holiday-wise, we're going to be closed on Friday, we'll be closed Sunday and Monday, but we have this random Saturday where we're open. Thankfully, that's when we were able to work with our partners to have the sponsored waived adoption fees to try to draw in traffic on that kind of odd floating day we're open. But then on top of that, trying to push to the public, hey, this short-term foster opportunity, it's a great way to get new fosters involved. Usually when you foster an animal from a shelter like ours, we expect you to keep that until you're able to find an outcome for the animal, because that's just going to cause more stress bringing them back. They might, if they were an urgent pet, they return and their behavior quickly deteriorates because they're used to being out. It might result in them being on the list. However, we wanted to try and see, we've never really had the staffing or kind of the partnerships in place to do short-term fostering. Now that we do, we want to test it out to even provide those animals a temporary reprieve, free up some kennel space. And as we draw attention to it, as we market it heavily as well, it can get some people who might not have ever been interested in fostering before because they were intimidated by the long-term aspect of it, and they can get their feet in the door, get some experience, and keep them coming back to get more involved with the shelter. And we do believe that even just a short period away from the shelter will do wonders for some of these animals that have never been in an environment like this. It's loud. Right now our staff is cleaning. Otherwise I would have a dog on my lap right now, but they're all taking them out of their kennels, and it is loud. It is a kind of frenzied environment, especially for some of these strays that come in and have never been in a kennel and been in any sort of, honestly, captivity, who might have lived their whole lives as a stray. And with some training, with some patience, they could become an amazing member of your family. But they just need to get out of this stressful environment where they can present their best self, maybe calm down, come back, their behavior's improved, and that way it makes them even easier to adopt out when the adopters that thankfully have been showing up after we've been doing these pleas can find their, the right fit for them, because this animal's had an opportunity to be trained a little bit, to be calm, to be loved, to shown some affection from a human that might not have ever gotten before, and understand, what kind of interactions it might be expecting as more people come to visit it.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, so just before we let you go, remind people where you can be, where you're located.
We are located at 3300 Carr Street. That's our main adoption entrance. We also have a second entrance, 3200 Carr Street. That's CARR Street. And you can go to HoustonBARC.com to learn more. Again, all of our adoptable pets are shown online. All our social media channels have more information about our ongoing campaigns as well.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
information.
Yeah, good luck throughout the holidays.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. We
holidays.
really appreciate you helping us spread this
anytime.
word.
And we, of course, will put all of this information inside this article on our website, clicktohouston.com. Corey, thank you for everything you do. Happy holidays, and we will talk to you soon.
You too.